You guys know what to do. You know what time it is. Copy, paste, and share everywhere. A lot to get to tonight. Boom, 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 boom. What's up? Shout out to the mods. I see you guys out there. I see you. I see you. Going to bring it in. Good evening, everybody. It is Thursday. I feel like it was just like yesterday when I was saying it's Monday. It's actually like Thursday now. We're like a day away from the weekend. And speaking of the weekend, on Saturday up in Idaho, up at the state line between Idaho and Washington, my man Bryson Gray is going to be up there performing on Saturday night. So my plan is to go up there Saturday to check out Bryson Gray, who's going to be up there performing that evening. So I'm looking forward to that. I think there's other people here in the Northwest that are going to be traveling up there and going to go see him get down and do his thing. It's at like Cruiser's Bar and Grill. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing Bryson Gray do a set. He's scheduled to be going for like 2 hours. So that'll be kind of cool. Maybe he'll do a surprise, or maybe Tyson James will make a surprise visit as well. So I'll go up there for that, and I'll probably try to live stream it for you guys if I can. Probably only be able to do it on Rumble because of music and violations and copyrights and all that type of jazz. So I'll do it on Rumble, get up there and stream that. So that should be a good event. Trying to think if there's anything else other than that. I mean, obviously it's Resurrection Sunday. So that's always a plus to observe and remember what God did for us by sending his son, Jesus Christ, so that we could be redeemed, have that relationship restored back with God. Since he did create us and he wanted a relationship with us, what did he do? He sent his son. He sent Jesus in the flesh to do the penalty, and God did put the wrath on him by, guess what, abandoning Jesus on the cross. Because if you guys remember, Jesus said, my God, why have you forsaken me? Why have you left me? Why have you left me here? Why did you abandon me? Why you let me go through this? Because guess what happened? He bore the sins for us. So keep that in mind, what this weekend is really about. Keep that in mind, because a lot of people, it's just another Sunday. And it may be. It may not be this exact date, but it is Passover, so why not observe and remember? It's kind of like the same with Christmas. A lot of people, Christmas wasn't Jesus's birthday. Fair enough, but you can still take a day and observe, remember XYZ. You don't have to celebrate. You don't have to do all that stuff. So, anywho, you guys go to the website, check out the website. Please, if you can find it in your heart, if you can. I know times are tough, but go to the links at the top or below, wherever it's at, the description for PayPal and Cash App and all that jazz. And if you can do something, because there is stuff coming up in the future. It's going to take traveling and getting to places. I was actually thinking about going. Yeah. Anyway, never mind that. I'm not even going to talk about that. But I am going to talk about Twitter. I want to talk about the Frank James. I want to talk about Patrick, and then I'm going to switch over and only do a couple things on Rumble. So after this is all over, if you guys want to see like some extension, it will be on Rumble, because I'm going to stop the feeds on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube and just keep Rumble up. So, I know the election season is up, and I don't even know if I want to talk about this right now. I'm still kind of like, maybe not. Maybe so, maybe not. There's some things that are on my mind in regards to voting and the elections and midterms and candidates and patriots and roles and manhood and womanhood and leadership and stuff like that. So I might wait because I don't have it. I don't have it put together, completely formed in my brain yet of how I want to word this stuff. I am Glenn Williams on Facebook, you guys, and everybody else. Yes, I am on Getter. I'm on Getter, you guys. It is at TheBCPreacher. I can't go live on there yet. I still need to talk to the people over at Getter. I do have the dude's card. I remember meeting him at AmpFest that was at Trump Durrell at the end of last year. So I do have his card. I need to reach out to him to see if he will approve me. He's kind of up there on the ladder at Getter. So I'll reach out to him and see if he can get it approved that I can go live on Getter. The problem is with these platforms, you guys, like Rumble and Getter and all these type of things. Everybody says go to these platforms, but then it's not like everybody's going to them and following or subscribing. I have Twitter, I have Instagram, I have Telegram, I have Getter. Everything is the BC Preacher, every single platform. So it's interesting that these type of things, or I tell people this, and it's like, well, the numbers kind of stay just kind of low, but it is what it is. So let me say this in regards to what I was trying to say, and this might seriously, this might offend some people, but I guess I'm kind of good at doing that anyway and triggering folks. You guys, some of you guys know where I stand when it comes to roles and positions and male and female and stuff like that. So some people would call me a chauvinist, misogynist, all that type of jazz, right? Which I'm fine with. I'm fine with the titles. Don't bother me. But I do want to say, in regards to like political stuff, so you guys, some of you, so let me put it this way. I personally don't think a woman, a female, should be in a leadership position in regards to running a nation or really overseeing like people or men per se. And I know people would say, well, she's qualified, right? A woman's qualified. Like, I don't think a woman should be president. I'll put it out there like that. I don't care if they're conservative, straight up Christian. I don't think a woman should be president. Because that is in a position of leadership and leading men, controlling a nation, which would be controlling or leading men and women. And I come from more of a biblical position in saying that. Now, if it did happen, it happened. I mean, okay, it is what it is. But I'm saying for me personally, I wouldn't vote for. Let me just say, put it out there, like, because I know people have talked about Candace Owens running, right? I personally wouldn't vote for Candace Owens, even though I like her. I wouldn't vote for her, especially if there was another male in that same sort of maybe party or affiliation that was a Republican or a conservative. I wouldn't vote for Candace Owens, even if I thought, even if I thought she was better, right? So, and that goes the same on down the line. Mayor, governor, whatever. I would not vote if there was a female and a male running for office. I would just personally, and I'm throwing this out there, and maybe I shouldn't because of what I do here on podcast, whatever, video blogs or whatever, and people have interviews with me. But I guess there it is. I'm being transparent. I personally wouldn't vote for a woman to be in any sort of leadership position. Now, with that said, I know there is there's a lot of patriotic women, and there's a lot of women who agree with that, a lot of men who agree with that, and a lot of women who disagree. There's a lot of women who disagree, and there's people who would agree up to a point until maybe someone else, say, like, let's say a Candace Owens was up against someone that they didn't like, but yet they agree with, like, male role and female role, and men should be in leadership and men should be leading XYZ. But then, like, if Candace Owens ran, and I'm just using Candace Owens like as an example. So if Candace Owens ran, then all right, Carrying Peters, bye, see you later. Over on Facebook, bye. So if Candace Owens did run, they would probably say, well, she's more qualified than this person. I'm like, well, okay, but I thought you were, like, pro-man leading. So what made the switch? And I know people do that. People say, people say those type of things, and then they end up switching because of maybe they don't like a guy or another woman or something like that. But I'm just saying, like, if we're going to say, like, pro man and men should be leading, men should be on the front line, then I personally think that needs to be across the board, in my opinion. And like I said, coming from a biblical position, I wouldn't vote for a female, because I don't want a female actually running and leading the country. And again, like I said, I know some of you are not going to like that, but I'm coming from, like I said, a biblical position. So it is what it is. And obviously I already pissed somebody off, so they went bye-bye. It's all right. Let me just read their fun comment. What did I hear you say? I had respect for you. That is BS. You have no credibility now. Goodbye, angry face. Did I trigger you? Anyway, that was on Facebook. Well, you need to have respect for God first and foremost. Don't have respect for me. First and foremost, you need to have respect for God. And yeah, so that's kind of a, what did I hear you say? Well, you heard me say the right thing. That's why you went bye-bye. I had respect for you. That is BS. You have no credibility. Well, it is what it is. So, yeah, I am on Getter. Let me see if I can pop it up. It should here. I wonder if that's why people are having problems. It should be that on Getter. That's what it should be on Getter, right there, what I typed in. It's nothing else. Getter. Yep. Right there, Getter. That's Getter. Getter done. So it's there. I can't go live though. No live feature yet. There's no live. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. Like I said, I know that's been kind of like an issue, and people are, like I said, patriots and people do that. Hey, man, man to lead, man to, be leading the family, man should be on the front line, men should be doing this. And I agree. But so that's why I said I would never vote for a female myself personally. And if you do, you do. I'm not mad at you. Maybe I should say you have no credibility if you do vote for a female. Maybe I should do that. That's BS. That's funny. Anywho, all right. So let's move along. Like I said, I didn't even know if I wanted to talk about that because I didn't have it all put together. Linda's on YouTube. Linda's following me on Getter. Yep. So it should be there. So Okay, here's the deal. We've all heard about Elon Musk, right? And I want to know your guys' opinion on this. Do you think this is a good thing, what Elon is doing, or a bad thing? What's your guys' opinions on the whole Twitter thing? He bought shares, and then what happened? They asked him to be on the board, or people were asking him to be on the board. He declined to be on the board, and then he came with a different move that he wants to actually pay cash or come out right straight up and buy Twitter for $43 billion. $43 billion. He wants to flat out buy Twitter. And I mean, a lot of people are like, yeah, Elon should do it because it will restore Twitter, and, Trump will come back and all this type of jazz. So here's this. So Twitter's board is considering adopting a measure, right, that would protect the company from hostile acquisition bids, according to people with knowledge of the matter, following billionaire Elon Musk's unwelcome offer to take the company private. So it's an unwelcome offer. It wasn't welcome. So he probably just was like, boom, here's this money, and they probably weren't even expecting it. They didn't want to do it. I don't know what it was, but it does say unwelcome offer according to Bloomberg. But one of the options under consideration is adopting a poison pill. See, I had no clue what a poison pill is. I had no clue, and I probably still don't understand it. I'm black. Known as a shareholder rights plan, said the people, who asked not to be identified discussing private deliberations. Twitter could announce the poison pill as soon as tomorrow. Another scenario under consideration is saying that the offer is too low, according to one person. $43 billion is too low? Like, seriously? $43 billion is too low. How is $43 billion? I mean, I can't even imagine what $43 billion looks like. I mean, I could understand if somebody said like $1 million is low. I can kind of picture that because we know like the price of houses and things like that. $43 billion, like you've done surpassed like 100 million. You've done surpassed 900 million. Like, so you went from like 1, then, like 10 million. All right. I could get like 10 homes, or maybe like 2 expensive mansions, ranches. But 100 million, 200 million, 3. And then you go into, once you hit the 900 million, then you finally hit 1 billion. Then with the 1 billion, you have to climb all the way up to $43 billion. That's too low. Woo. Talk about greed. So that I was like, that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. But I guess according to them, it's not. But anyway, so that was done. So Elon, he had a little interview today, right? He did a little interview today. So let's check this out real quick.
Thinking of taking over. You said no way. You said, I do not want to own Twitter. It is a recipe for misery. Everyone will blame me for everything. What on earth changed?
No, I think everyone will still blame me for everything. Yeah. If I acquire Twitter and something goes wrong, it's my fault, 100%. I think there will be quite a few errors, yes.
It will be miserable, but you still want to do it. Why?
I mean, I hope it's not too miserable, but
no.
I just think it's important to the it's important to the function of democracy. It's important to the function of the United States as a free country and many other countries, and to help freedom in the world more broadly than the U.S.
Okay. To me, it sounds like, for one, that he don't know what he's talking about. For two, it sounds like he's just grasping at things and he's trying to figure it all out on what to say. For three, it seems like he's not even being honest. In my opinion, it don't sound like he's being honest. Like he don't want to really say. It feels like the question that's being asked to him, he don't want to talk about. Like he could be hiding some stuff. That's what I'm gathering from this. And maybe he is just processing it and trying to piece it together. That could be it. But I don't know.
So I think it's a, you know, I think there's the risk, civilizational risk is decreased if Twitter, the more we can increase the trust of Twitter as a public platform. And so I do think this will be somewhat painful, and I'm not sure that I will actually be able to acquire it. And I should also say the intent is to retain as many shareholders as is allowed by the law in a private company, which I think is around 2,000 or so. So it's not like it's definitely not from the standpoint of let me figure out how to monopolize or maximize my ownership of Twitter, but we'll try to bring along as many shareholders as we're allowed to.
You don't necessarily want to pay out 40 or whatever it is $billion in cash. You'd like them to come with you in the.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, I could technically afford it.
I heard that. I heard that.
But what I'm saying is this is not a way to sort of make money. You know, I think this is. It's just that I think this is. This could. My strong intuitive sense is that having a public platform that is maximally trusted and broadly inclusive is extremely important to the future of civilization.
But you've described yourself.
I don't care about the economics at all.
Did that make sense to you guys? Like, honestly, did that make any sense? Maybe I was just bored and fell asleep. It didn't make much sense to me. I'm just being real. Yeah. Anyway, so what's your guys' opinion on him coming out wanting to buy Twitter? Because I don't know if you guys remember this, okay? Because I know everybody's like, yes, buy Twitter, cheering for it, X, Y, Z. But did you guys also remember that he's also supporting, like, microchipping? Like, that's a serious thing. He's for microchipping people, human beings. And that's the one thing I forgot to bring up today. I actually saw this on the news this morning while I was working out at the gym. This thing right here, I have a Fitbit. And you guys could probably Google it right now or whatever, DuckDuckGo. Actually, I'm going to pull it up and see if I can. Fitbit with, what do they call it, AFib? They're talking about a microchip that will connect with the Fitbit. They're talking about a microchip that will fit with the Fitbit, that goes hand in hand with the Fitbit. I'm trying to find it. Fitbit and microchip. See if that would be it. I saw it. I seriously saw it at the news today, at the gym. And I don't know if that's it. Yeah, see, and right when this pops up, there's something that says Elon Musk unveils brain chip implant. It's like a Fitbit. So he's all on board for a microchip. So it's like, once again, here we are as like patriots and people saying, yeah, go Elon Musk because he'll get Twitter back on, he'll get Trump back on. And then we forget about all this other stuff. So it's like we compromise and we kind of sacrifice depending on what type of things are what, depending on what fits. So it's like if they like Trump, it's like, yes, come join us. And we forget about all these other type of things that the dude or whoever is behind. And that's one thing he's behind. I mean, the dude he probably is one of the elitists. I mean, the dude obviously has money. If you can throw $43 billion around I'm sure he has some money. So yeah, I had to look that up. It has some, I saw it on the news today. It was seriously like something about a chip with Fitbit that they would obviously insert into because they were showing it, boom, boom, like on, for reading credit cards or your wallet and stuff. It's not Fitbit. No, it's not the computer chip. It was something else. But anyway, I'll have to find it and show you guys. That's what I have to do. Yeah. So. Earlier on with the fellas, right? On the Now, we were talking about the whole Frank James situation. Now, the Frank James, in case you guys don't know, obviously in New York City, subway, dude goes into the subway at a subway stop, releases some gas, and then starts shooting people. Dude gets away, and then they find him like a day later or whatever. Actually, they didn't find him. He actually turned his own self in by saying, basically, I'm going to be around this area. Come get me. Nana Rose, I will do that. I will look at that Neuralink. And so the thing about the whole Frank James thing, like, and we played this earlier on in the Now, that Will found some video from his YouTube, one of his YouTube pages, and the dude was talking straight about killing like white people this. I mean, you could actually hear, they always want to talk about hate speech and this and that, but they don't talk about anything like hate speech with this dude. They're actually like really protecting him, because I was looking at some other stuff once I got done with In the Now, trying to find stuff of Frank James. They talked about his platforms, but they're not mentioning anything remotely close of what he was actually talking about in his videos that he was making and putting out there, whether they had the views or not. And this is exactly what we were talking about in the Now. They will give us warnings on Facebook. They will give us strikes. They will take down videos. But this dude is seriously saying that who he hates, that they want to call, he wants to call for, like, he's actually really calling for violence, and they kept his videos up. Now, the reason why they probably kept the videos up, because he didn't have a big following, so it wasn't impacting people. But I seriously did a video with the guys, and you guys maybe remember this. I did a video when I was just down in L.A. with Josh and Anthony Aguero. We were sitting around the table, I think on Friday night, last Friday, just talking. Well, today I get binged on my backup channel on YouTube, which is this one that I'm on currently, and I got my first warning. So with the warning, they give you a warning, and they take down the video. They give you a warning, and then you can proceed. Then if you get another thing, then it's your first strike. And that first strike lasts for 3 months, so it's on there for 3 months. Anyway, what they said with the video, that there was misinformation. But then this dude can actually call for violence, talking about hating people, and the dude's video stayed up. And multiple videos stayed up, but now they finally took down his YouTube channels and pages. But if you actually want to see what he was talking about, go onto Rumble, on my Rumble page, and look at the last episode of In the Now, which was just about an hour ago or 2 hours ago. You'll see the video on there when we were talking about it. Like, you'll actually hear this dude talk about, like, the racism in America and how white people own black people and black people are selling out by trying to make white people like them, and just nothing but garbage. And they keep the video up. So, and then, anyway, let me play this. Let me play this for you guys.
Identifying James as a suspect this morning after combing through surveillance video and other evidence. Later in the day, officials say James actually called police himself and told them where he was.
Now, let me point this out.
Couldn't find him right away. Another man saw James walking down the street, and that person alerted police.
So let me point this out, that as you guys can see this right now. Here this is, a black man who just did a terrorist attack the day before. He calls the police and says, hey, you can find me in this area, whatever. You see him actually walking. Now, I'm not sure if anybody actually died from the shooting that he did, but obviously people were hit, people were injured. It was terrorism. People were running for their lives. They were scared. There was smoke going on. So there was some sort of assault. taking place and going on. There was definitely some sort of assault taking place. And nothing was done. You see the dude walk. The police are walking with him. This is a black man, right? A black man, because black people are hunted down. Black people are shot. White police officers just want to kill black people. That's their goal. That's their mission, is to go out and kill black people. But this dude goes on a subway, terrorizes people, shoots people. No one's boycotting. And in fact, the media don't even really want to address what he actually was saying in his YouTube channels. And CNN actually made his face and did some sort of crazy effects to one of his videos so that you really couldn't tell who it was. So they protected his identity in a way. The police show up to get him. They're not dragging him. They didn't slam his face to the ground. They didn't manhandle him. He's walking. Knowing what he just did, he's walking to the police vehicle, and in some of the footages, you see the police actually kind of helping him. They're kind of being, I guess, what would it be, empathetic or compassion? I don't know. So that happens, but no one is rioting, no one is protesting, no one is saying thank you, Mr. White police officer, for not killing another black man, because that is a narrative, and that's all you white police officers do is kill black people. They're not saying that. They're not reporting that. They don't want to let people know, hey, these officers showed up and they actually arrested him very peacefully, very calmly for the heinous action and thing that he just did. Yeah, personally, he should have been slammed to the ground. Personally, his feet and his hands probably should have been cuffed together, in my opinion, after what he just did. But no, it was a nice thing. Hey, I'm here. Come get me. You know, I'll comply. I just did my mission. No problem. Come get me. But then another, yeah. So, and here's more of his stuff.
Police walking from over there. I thought the police. This is the guy. He did the problem in Brooklyn. This guy, catch him, guys, catch him, and he catch him. Thank God we catch him.
The investigation was centered in New York, of course, but investigators also did some serious digging in Philadelphia.
And that's where we find Jenny Joyce. You've been looking into that part of this story for us tonight. What have you learned?
Good evening, Shayna and Jason. Well, investigators say that James had a short-term apartment rental here in Philadelphia. By short-term, we're talking about 15 days. An early morning raid in the city's Nicetown section of the city had people stunned. Neighbors waking up to this chaotic scene on the 1800 block of West Ontario Street this morning. The FBI confirms agents were at that address for court-ordered activity. Neighbors tell Fox 29 tonight they recognize the Brooklyn shooting suspect.
And look at this. The dude's been in jail before. He has a rap sheet. And from another report I was listening to, he's been, arrested like 12 times? Like, and here we talk about, you know, and BLM and Antifa talk about like all these type of things that are wrong with the system. Yeah, this is one of the things that's wrong with the system. They let people out. They let criminals out over and over and over and over again. Yeah, that's one of the things that's wrong with the system. The system.
Frank James when they saw his picture all over the news.
He could have came out here and killed people. He had to go to New York. He could have went to Braun Area, Braun Allegheny, and wasted people. Could have went to a bus and opened fire on the bus.
Federal documents detail what agents found after raiding James's temporary Philly apartment and a local storage unit, including ammunition for both a 9mm gun and an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle, a taser, a high-capacity rifle magazine, and a blue smoke canister. According to the documents, James took a ride from Lyft to the Philly storage facility around 6:15 the night before the attack. He also rented a U-Haul, which he paid for for and reserved nearly a week in advance. Philly police
So
say
it's
he
planned
picked
out.
it up Monday.
Our personnel are assisting the New York
Look at there,
Police Department
folks.
and FBI in
Who is that? Do you guys remember her? Chief Outlaw. Old Portland police chief.
investigators in as many ways as we can.
Investigators say surveillance cameras captured James's U-Haul crossing the Verrazano Bridge into Brooklyn just after 4 a.m. Tuesday. 2 hours later, cameras show a man in a yellow hard hat and an orange reflective jacket leaving the U-Haul on foot, just 2 blocks from the subway stop where
That's
James
terror.
allegedly
That's
waged
straight
his
terror
attack.
right there.
A jacket matching that description, along with a key to the U-Haul, were among the evidence discovered at the scene. Law enforcement officials in New York say they had hundreds of officers combing through video throughout the crime scene and beyond to connect the pieces and hone in.
So, like I was saying, this dude's locked up. There's probably no no bail. I don't think there's a bail on him. Obviously, it was premeditated. He had the U-Haul rented for a week. He knew exactly what he was doing, at least planned out. You know, but we're going to worry about some hate speech. We're going to worry about people who wear yellow and black, and those are, you know, those are domestic terrorists. But someone can go to jail 12 times, get released, and has some serious issues, which we've seen over and over, and nothing's done. Nothing's done. They can have YouTube channels. They can say whatever they can use. They can use their free speech all they want. They're not censored at all. But, you know, people like myself, Will Johnson, Oreo, on down the line, hey, be careful what you guys say. Be careful if you have an interview and someone mentions the C word, because that's going to be misinformation. But you can talk about planning an event to go mass murder, mass kill people, and it's not a big deal, especially if you're black, because they really don't want to say that. I haven't heard one report really myself saying that this dude is black. Like, if he was white, this stuff would be, they would be marching in New York, honestly. And we said that earlier on the show. In the now, if he was white, people would be out there protesting. They'd be marching. Yet this dude can, like, shoot multiple people, gas 3 dozen people. No big deal. Because, I mean, I guess, you know, when you gas people and you smoke up a subway, it's not no big deal. After all, it is New York, right? So it's not a big deal. Like, we can just, like, gas people up. I mean, if you would have kept the doors closed on the subway, it would have been a gas chamber. I mean, just being honest. But it's not a big deal. But there are other things that are big deals. There's other things that are way more crucial, more vital, more important, more stuff to, you know, to riot about, you know, than a dude going onto a subway, gassing people and things like that. For instance, you know, one thing that we could get all upset about is when people don't obey, when people don't listen to instructions, such as, unfortunately, what happened with Patrick.
Yo, Pat, Jojo, you good? Yo.
Your hands behind your back.
No, he's not good. He wasn't listening to instructions. He wasn't listening to orders once again.
Yeah.
1950. Start with some more cars. Okay.
No, you say he's good, but man, yo, what's up, man?
Like, this stuff infuriates me. Like, every time. Every time. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen the whole video, and I can't show it, so I'll probably skip forward for the next part. He's wrestling with the officer. The officer is by himself. The officer knows that he's in a fight. I mean, that is a fight.
Okay, why you gotta do all that, bro? He good, man.
He knows he's in a fight. Let go of the taser. So the dude has a hold of the taser. And whether he has a hold of the taser or not, you're fighting for a reason.
Let go of the tape.
No,
Over and over, he tells him to let go of the taser. So I'm going to forward it because, yeah. So I'm actually going to get to a good part. Because here we go. So let's think about this. let's think about this, okay?
Hey, stay in the...
Okay, yes, this is perfect spot. Okay, perfect spot. Okay, so, and this is the stuff, it seriously pisses me off because here's the thing. We want to warn all the kids. We want to warn people about, hey, if a cop pulls you over, just put your hands on the steering wheel. You don't have to put your hands on the steering wheel if a cop pulls you over. But nowadays, because cops are afraid for their lives because of people wanting to shoot police officers and not respect them and not listen to them, it makes sense to probably put your hands on the steering wheel so that they probably feel safe, so that they can have a presence or a sense of security for their own selves. Because we see what's going on in the world. Police officers are straight ambushed. People don't respect them. There's people get out their cars and start running. There's high-speed chases all the time in California, and I'm kind of upset that I didn't get to see one this past weekend. Like, seriously, I've seen like 3 or 4 since I've been home. I'm like, dang, why can't I see one in person? Like, I'm being serious about that when I say that, because I watch them all the time on KTLA. I'm like, oh, another high-speed chase. Didn't get to see one ever when I'm down there. But anyway, so police officers, they got things to worry about nowadays as well, unfortunately. But here this situation is. The officer pulls him over. I don't know what for, but obviously it was something. Actually, I do know what it was for, because the video I'm getting ready to show you now tells why they pulled him over. But then the dude acts dumb, stutters, acts like he don't know English. And the officer is speaking English to him, giving him instructions, telling him what to do. Here's instructions. Do this. Don't do this. Do this, but don't do that. But you're so freaked out and caught up because you know you're a criminal. Your heart's probably racing. You're not thinking clearly. And so all you can think about is, oh no, if I don't do this, my life is in danger, my life is done, so here's my other option. The other option is usually probably the bad option. It's the stupid option, which then results in something that probably should not have happened. Because I don't think any one of us say, oh yeah, just shoot him. None of us are thinking that. So check this out. Here it is. Officers pulling up, whipping. He's whipping it. So it takes a minute for it to come on. Right? He's on his way. It takes like 30 seconds, I think, for the audio. There it goes.
1913.
Hey, stay in the car.
Stay in the car.
Stay in the car.
Twice. Stay in the car. Stay in the car. 3 times. Stay in the car. 4 times. Stay in the car.
Dude, I'm stopping you.
Dude, I'm stopping you.
Do you have a license?
Do
you have a license? For what?
He wasn't even aggressive. Dude, he's yelling at him. Dude, stay in the car. Stay in the car. Yo, get back in the car. Stay in the car. 4 times. The dude could have said, okay, I'm going back in the car. I mean, there was no surrender, because you know what, you guys? Again, body language means everything. Body language means everything. Boom. That's all he probably had to do. He probably could have just did that. The officer probably would have digressed a little bit. Okay. But no. He stays outside the car. Then he wants to start. I mean, the officer was kind of direct. Dude, stay in the car. Then he wants to play dumb.
I'm stopping you. Do you have a license?
What
Do you have a driver's license? Do you speak English?
What in the world is what is that? Like, seriously, what is what the?
Yes. Can I see your license?
What do you want?
The plate doesn't belong on this car. Do you have a license or no? Do you have a driver's license? Yes.
And I'm surprised about this, and I'd love to hear Officer Brandon Tatum's response. When I saw this, I'm not going to lie. When I saw this part, my heart started to race a little bit. I'm not going to lie, because to me, in my opinion, something seemed off about this. Like, and I think the officer may have been a little intimidated or scared, like I said. But this seemed weird, because, and I guarantee it, that this isn't probably okay procedure what this officer is doing at this particular moment within the next probably 10 to 20 seconds. So this dude opens the car door, and the officer don't know what's on the other side. He opens the car door and allows him to get back into the car. Now, like I said, I haven't heard Officer Brandon Tatum's take on it yet, but in my opinion, I think that would be a no-no. I don't think he should have let him open that car door and get back in the car, in my opinion, especially not knowing the circumstances or even knowing that the plates did not belong on the car. So if the plates didn't belong on the car, obviously there's a crime or a criminal of some sort, or guess what? You have to do some sort of profiling. But he allowed him to get back in the car.
Where is it at? Get it for me.
Because now
the plate does not belong on this car.
Now somebody could easily from there, if some, because there is another person, that person could have easily started firing shots. And the officer looks like, from the most part, is pretty like right in line with the car, inside of the car. So, and someone, Adam, 1984, do you think that cop might have been a rookie? I kind of do think so, in my opinion. I don't know. We'll find out, but I do think he was a rookie. Look, now he backs up a little bit. Is his weapon drawn?
Right there.
No. Stop. Put your hands right.
So you know what he was going to do right there? He started walking away because he is probably going to get enough space to take off and run, even though we see in a second that he couldn't run because he was wearing the wrong type of stuff in order to run. You don't wear house slippers and think you're going to run. You just can't run in house slippers. Just being real. I can't even run barefooted, to be honest with you guys, so there's some more stuff about me you know. I can't run barefooted. I'm cool. Casey says on Facebook, no, he was at 7 years of service, Quincy. Wow. That seemed, to me, that seemed like a rookie move to have that door open, and especially if somebody's in that passenger seat. That don't seem right. It seems like you'd want to have things secured. But, so he runs. Now he starts to run.
1915. You got one running. Northbound. Stop!
Okay. Dang.
What do you mean, okay? So then he says, so then he says, okay, dang. Like, okay. What do you mean, okay, dang? Like, okay, what? You're going to surrender? Or okay, what? Because you're resisting the whole time. You take off running. Why would you take off running if it was okay? If it was okay, then you should have just okayed it with your hands up. Okay, officer, I'll give you my license, instead of acting like it's in the car and it's really not in the car, or your buddy can't find it. And see, to me, this is the other part. It seems really rookie-ish because there's another person in the car and the officer is wrestling with the dude. I don't know, like, because if you're truly worried about your life, because at this point you probably are going to start worrying about your life at this point, especially if you can't really get the dude cuffed and detained, and then there's another dude that you're not even paying attention to, because the officer wasn't paying attention to the other dude. Luckily, the other dude wasn't maybe as stupid or as crazy as this guy. And again, I'm not saying that it was set out for him to die that day. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But you're doing it. You could easily. And guess what? No one's going to hold that as responsible. No one's going to hold that as accountability that he should have listened. Once again, it's just going to be the police officer's fault. Oh, he shouldn't have done this. Why don't you say that he should not have had his hand on the taser? Why don't you say that he should not have ran? Why don't you say that he should have gave the officer the ID? Why don't you say that he should have just complied and not went back to the car like the officer said over and over? When do you say that?
Okay. Get your hands behind your back. Okay. Hands behind your back. Okay. Get your hands behind your back. 1950, 34 cars.
And then that's the other thing. He's by himself. The officer's by himself. And then he's having to try to communicate, talk, while he's trying to whatever hold someone down and wrestle with someone. And he has to still communicate to get more people there to help. Because I don't think personally his intention was to try to kill the dude. I don't think that was his intention. No matter what you want to say. If you want to say it was execution, fine, it was execution. If you want to say he killed him, fine. If you want to say that he was defending himself, okay. But I don't in any one of those three situations, I don't think he was wanting to do it.
Stop. Okay. Stop resisting.
Stop resisting. So they're still standing up. He's still standing up. He says, okay, so why don't you drop down to your knees? Why don't you drop down to your knees or just put your hands behind your back? Okay, I'm done. I'm done. There you go, officer. Pretty simple if you keep saying, okay, okay, okay. Boom. You're trying to get my arms back? Okay, there they are. I don't know. Or you're lying. Trying to get away more. So now he put the hand on the taser. Okay. Now in all fairness, I will say I probably don't want to get zapped. I don't want to get tased. I get it. But guess what could have prevented me from getting tased? Guess what? Because the tase came when? Because there was the first thing that the officer tried to do. So obviously he wasn't trying to kill him. He wasn't trying to execute him. That's not what the officer was trying to do. So with this officer, in comparison to the other officer, the woman, right, that just got some time because she actually pulled out her gun and thought it was her taser, this officer actually pulled out the taser first. So obviously this officer knew that in comparison, which one was what, on which side of the hip, he pulled out the taser. So did he do the right thing? Yes. He pulled out the taser, tried to tase the dude. The dude grabs the taser. But guess what? Once again, that could have been prevented. It could have been prevented if he would have just listened and complied. I mean, after all, especially the left and Antifa and BLM, don't they want us to comply with everything else in regarding other things that people want to inject into the bodies? They want us to comply with that. So why can't you comply when it comes to basic instructions of don't go to the car? Don't go to the car. Get out the car. I mean, hey, we're all talking about complying, right? But when it comes to our choices with our bodies and what things are put into our bodies, we should comply. But when it comes to basic instructions, you don't have to comply. A man is free to do what they want to do.
Let go of the taser.
Let go of the taser. Anyway, we know what happens, and I obviously I'm not going to play it because, I mean, just being truthful, agree with it or not agree with it, it's still hard to hear, it's still hard to see because I mean that was a pretty, and some people are comparing it to Floyd. That you know, I don't know. It was hard. It was hard once they came out with that and released the footage. That was hard to see. And I do think that it freaked out the officer. I seriously do. And I think I honestly believe that when the officer did that, I think his life flashed before his eyes. I think he was so freaked out when he actually shot the dude in the back of the head. I mean, and that's where he shot him. Because if you pay attention, when a lot of officers do shoot people, and there's a lot of shots fired, because you're supposed to shoot until the threat is eliminated. He did shoot him in the back of the head, so the threat was eliminated like instantly. I hate to say, but that I'm not gonna lie, that was a hard one in comparison to, okay, well, he shot 9 times. Well, yeah, the dude was running, and probably 2 of the shots hit him, and then the third one maybe dropped him. Yeah, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that's, you know, I'm not gonna lie, this one, that one was hard to watch. That was hard. That was hard. You know, but it was probably his only option at that point, when he's sitting there wrestling the dude for 2 minutes, and the dude isn't complying at all. You know, his life was probably in danger. He probably felt like his life was in danger. Now the black dude, and that's the problem, is like, these people think that their life is in danger when they get pulled over by a police officer. But the question is, why do you feel like your life is in danger? It's not because you got pulled over by an officer or a white officer is why you feel like your life is in danger. The reason why these people feel like their life is in danger when they get pulled over, because their life probably is in danger, because their life is already dangerous because of how they're living their life. And so when they come against or come across a police officer, they're like, "Oh, great! Now I'm going to jail. I got to serve time. So my only option is to run and flee. And then if I run and flee, guess what possibly could happen?" So, no, I don't think George Black. I don't think it was 3 times. I think it was just 1 shot. But anyway, yeah, it's nonetheless, it is pretty sad. So, all right, you guys, like I said, it's been about an hour now. I know I started late. I am going to flip over to just Rumble. And hopefully Rumble will allow me to play these without doing anything. So if you want to see some more content, I'm going to go for like another 10 or 15 minutes at most on Rumble only. So if you want to see that, then you guys have to come over to Rumble. I want to make sure it's on. I don't even know if it's going. Let me make sure that my Rumble is up and running before I like just bounce over. It should be, but I want to make sure. Let me see. It should be going. I think it is. Is it going? Yes, it's going. All right. So Rumble is going. Cool. All right. So for the rest of you guys, I will see you tomorrow night on the show in the Now. And then I will be on at 8 o'clock normal time tomorrow. So Rumble, again, Rumble and everything else, you guys, is at the BC Preacher. Go to Rumble, look up the BC Preacher. All right, you guys. So Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, you guys have a blessed night. Thank you guys for being on. I will see you tomorrow.